What's good, guys? Fantasy Joe back with my Week 9 running back rankings. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Post waiver wire rankings, buy low, sell highs every single week, so you guys will want all of that fantasy content. You also, by hitting that subscribe button, get that access to the fantasy football hotline. That is commenting down below. All you have to do, put your question, your comment, should I do this trade, start, sit, whatever it may be. Respond to every single one of those comments so you get a fantasy expert on your side to help guide you to that championship this season. Let's dive into these rankings, though. Like, subscribe, you guys know the whole thing. But Jonathan Taylor at number 1, 14 rushing touchdowns on the year. He's been a freak. Matchups don't matter. 2, Christian McCaffrey. He plays the Giants. Good matchup for McCaffrey. I expect the offense to be a lot better than they were last week against Houston. 3, Josh Jacobs against Carolina. We just saw James Cook run all over them. 4, Devon Achane against Baltimore. Great matchup for him. He hasn't finished lower than, I believe, RB17 this entire season on a weekly basis. So a lot of consistency as well as the upside that Achane offers right now. 5, Bijan Robinson plays New England. Tougher matchup for him, but it's Bijan Robinson. I'm not worried about the rough game against Miami, even though it's a smash matchup. Sometimes it's a tough matchup, they play well. Sometimes it's a good matchup, they play poorly, but it's Bijan Robinson. Flip the page, get to the next chapter. 6, we got Jahmyr Gibbs against Minnesota. Absolute stud. 7, Derrick Henry against Miami. I expect a good game in this one for him. He has Lamar back too, so we've seen what he's been able to do in wins. That should be a good one. 8, James Cook, like I mentioned, went for 2 bills and 2 tuds last week against Carolina. I said didn't have a good one in the Buffalo Bills to need him in this game against Kansas City, the way they've looked recently. 9, we have Kyron Williams in a great matchup against New Orleans. He's got a great chance at touchdown in that game. 10, Javonte Williams against Arizona. We've seen what the Cowboys offense has had to do, and Javonte had 2 tuds last week, even against Denver. 11, DeAndre Swift against Cincinnati. Swift, this is a must start. This is a smash matchup for him. I'll talk about his teammate, Kyle Manunga. He's in my top 30 as well this week. 12, we got Kamani Vidal against Tennessee. Should be a great matchup for him. They're awful against the run this year. Jeffrey Simmons likely out as well, and that doesn't help them at all up the middle. 13, Ashton Jeanty plays Jacksonville. Jeanty gets a lot of volume, not the best matchup there, though. 14, Jaylen Warren against Indy. Again, not the best matchup for him, but the volume and what Jaylen Warren has had in the passing game, you're going to continue to start him with confidence. 15, Chase Brown against Chicago. Good matchup for Chase Brown. We've seen him do excellent things when Joe Flacco is out there. The sigh there was because Joe Flacco might not play this week. This is assuming Joe Flacco plays. If he doesn't, I'm sliding Chase Brown down my rankings for sure. 16, Bam Knight gets the delightful matchup that is the Dallas Cowboys. You're starting him. He's going to get a lot of volume. They cut Michael Carter. I believe they did re-sign him. But to me, that means that Bam Knight is firmly the guy for until Trey Benson returns. You're not going to cut a guy that you plan to give the ball to, as your lead back the next week. 17, Tyrone Tracy Jr. plays San Francisco. I think he's going to get a lot of work. And, we've seen this offense be better than we thought with Jackson Dart. Obviously, now Scatterbo gone, Neighbors gone. The offense is changing. But Tyrone Tracy did look good in the short sample size we got from him last year. Although it wasn't all that short, but he looks like a good player. Travis Etienne Jr. against Vegas. That's a good matchup for him. Excited for that one for Etienne. 19, Ramondre Stevenson against Atlanta. Tough matchup if you look at the on-paper stats, things like that. I think Ramondre's got a really good chance of a touchdown in that game, though, with how much the Patriots' offense has been cooking. 20, David Montgomery plays Minnesota. Another guy's got a great chance of a touchdown. Kenneth Walker, he's going to bust that run. He's going to have that great week. It is coming for him. 17 carries this last week, only for 66 yards, but I do wonder, too, maybe the week off with his heel. I do think the split's going to continue no matter what, but you just want a little bit more of that split for Kenneth Walker than he's getting right now. Give him another 10% of the workload, and Kenneth Walker's basically giving you what you ask for. 22, J.K. Dobbins plays Houston. Tough matchup for J.K., but I'm still playing him. Rico Dowdle against Green Bay. We saw the coaches talk about how they're going to play Dowdle more, so I'm going to start him as RB2 this week. 24, Zach Charbonnet. He is the guy if they get there on the goal line. We've seen the Seattle offense be pretty good outside of this last week, before the bye, that is. 25, Aaron Jones against Detroit. I do think he'll be the preferred running back in this one. They'll likely be down, especially with J.J. McCarthy against a tough Lions defense, and the offense is difficult to keep up with as well, so that game could get out of hand quickly. It's a division game, though, so you never know. 26, Kareem Hunt plays Buffalo. Isaiah Pacheco out for a few weeks. Hunt's the guy around the goal line. You're starting him. Kyle Monangai at 27. Touched on him earlier, but it's basically a 60-40 split right now, if that even. So I think you can play both these guys in that Cincinnati matchup that likely the Bears win handily, especially if Joe Flacco is out. Bump those RBs up if that happens. 28, Woody Marks against Denver. Tough matchup for Woody, but I do think he's the running back I'm going to start if I'm starting a Houston Texans back. 29, Alvin Kamara against the Rams. Tough matchup, and Kamara's been disappointing this year. Tyler Shuck is starting. Maybe that gives him a little bit more passing game involvement, but that's TBD. We will see. And then 30, Travion Henderson. He had 75 yards this last week. He did have the fumble. But yeah, something to keep an eye on. And then Brashard Smith, the other guy in the backfield, Kareem Hunt this week and next moving forward with Pacheco out. A name to throw in there if you're starting a Travion Henderson or Lowe or some of these type of guys. I think he's in that conversation at least. It's just a risky play because we don't know what that split's going to be like between him and Kareem Hunt. Although I expect him to be involved, and I do expect Kareem Hunt to have the goal line work. So, but still, some things to figure out for sure this first week. If you guys have made it to this point in the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, check out wide receiver rankings, and drop any comments that you have down below, and I'll respond as always. This has been Fantasy Joe. Thank you guys for watching.